Place your fingers right here, just below your jawline. Press gently. Do you feel that pulse? Science calls this the vagus nerve, the longest wire in your autonomic system. But 2,000 years ago, initiates in the hidden schools called it by a different name. They saw it as the cord to source, the physical tether binding the spirit to the divine. But ask yourself this: if this is your connection to God, why does it feel so tight? Why, when you focus on this spot, do you feel tension instead of peace? Think about your first waking breath this morning. Before the alarm even rang, did you feel it? That heavy, low-frequency dread sitting on your chest. You aren't just tired. You aren't just anxious. You feel like you are waking up in a hostile environment. You feel like a battery being plugged into a machine that drains you. The world tells you to medicate this feeling. They tell you it is a disorder. But pause. Look closer. What if that tightness isn't a defect? What if it is a jammer signal? What if the exhaustion you feel is the result of a massive, invisible dampening field designed to keep this specific biological switch in the off position? You did not find this video by accident. The algorithm didn't choose this. Your frequency did. You are watching this because you feel a phantom limb, a persistent nagging sense that you possess a capacity for power, for silence, for magic that has been deliberately disabled. You are right. You are carrying a piece of organic ancient technology, the God nerve. The rulers of this construct, the Archons, know that if you ever learn to manually override the jammer signal, their illusion collapses. Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is within you." He wasn't speaking in metaphors. He was teaching anatomy. And today, we are going to turn it back on. Have you ever noticed that you possess instincts that the rest of the world seems to lack? Look at the people around you. In the ancient texts, they are called hylics, those bound entirely to matter. They can live in perpetual noise. They can exist in a state of high-stress panic for decades, consuming fear like food, and never once feeling the urge to disconnect. They are comfortable in the cage because they do not realize there is a sky. But you are different. You feel the cage. Think back to the last time you were overwhelmed. Without anyone teaching you, what did you do? You likely let out a long, heavy sigh, a double inhale, followed by a long, collapsing exhale. Or perhaps, when the noise became too much, you instinctively went to the bathroom and splashed cold water on your face. Or you found yourself humming a nameless tune while driving alone. You thought you were just calming down. You thought you were just washing your face. You were wrong. These are not random habits. These are emergency protocols encoded into your avatar. Your spirit, the monad spark, remembers the password to the exit, even if your conscious mind has forgotten it. Every time you splash that cold water, you aren't just cleaning your skin. You are triggering a biological hard reset known as the mammalian dive reflex. You are hacking your own nervous system to force the vagus nerve to open. Every time you hum, you are using sound vibration to massage the nerve fibers behind your vocal cords. You have been instinctively trying to hack the simulation your entire life. The Gospel of Thomas holds a code that explains this. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. For years, scholars thought this was poetry. It is not. It is an instruction manual. What is within you is this pathway. It is the 10th cranial nerve, the wandering nerve. It is the physical bridge between the meat of the body and the fire of the spirit. The Archons, the architects of this high-stress society, have designed a world specifically to keep this bridge burned. They need you in fight or flight. They need you severed from the network. Because a severed human is a battery. But a connected human? A connected human is a conduit for the monad. You haven't been suffering from anxiety. You have been suffering from a severed connection, and your body has been desperately trying to dial home. To understand why this portal is closed, you must understand the mechanism of the lock. Your biological suit operates on two distinct frequencies. Science calls them the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. The sympathetic state is fight or flight. It is the frequency of survival. When a predator chases you, this system spikes. It floods you with cortisol, narrows your vision, and, crucially, it severs the connection to the God nerve. Why? Because when you are fighting for your life, you do not need to speak with the divine, you need to run. The parasympathetic state is rest and digest. This is the only state where the monad portal opens. Here is the terrifying truth that explains your entire life. Civilization is not designed to keep you safe. It is architected to keep you permanently locked in the sympathetic state. This is not accidental. This is a farm. The Gnostics warned of the Archons, entities that cannot generate their own light. They are parasites. They cannot digest the high-frequency energy of peace or bliss. They can only metabolize low-frequency vibration, fear, anxiety, lust, and anger. This energy is what the hidden schools call louche. Look at the design of your day through this lens. It is a masterpiece of extraction. The alarm clock is a shock tactic to the heart. The news feed is not information. It is trauma dosing. The notifications on your phone are not for connection. They are for dopamine mining. Every time you are stuck in traffic, grinding your teeth in frustration, you are being harvested. Every time you doom scroll at 2 a.m., paralyzed by nameless anxiety, you are producing louche. They keep the pressure just high enough to keep you in chronic stress, but just low enough so you don't completely collapse. They keep you in the sympathetic zone because that is where the vagus nerve shuts down. When this nerve is severed, you lose witness consciousness. You forget you are the observer. You become the movie. You believe you are the anxiety. You believe you are the fear. They have severed the wire, not just to blind you, but to feed on you. But the moment you realize the cage is built of vibrations, you hold the key to dismantling it. They didn't count on one thing. The spark within you is older than their system, and it is starting to wake up. Before I hand you the protocol, I need to answer the question that is likely burning in your mind. I have tried meditation. I have tried affirmations. I have tried love and light. Why do I still feel trapped? This is not your failure. This is the second layer of the trap. It is what the Gnostics called the anti-maimon pneuma, the counterfeit spirit. In modern terms, we call this spiritual bypassing. The rulers of this world are intelligent. They knew some of you would wake up to the stress of the matrix, so they created a false exit door. They created a spirituality that keeps you docile, passive, and disconnected from your own power. They taught you to use your mind to fight your body. Think about it. You sit in the lotus position. You try to visualize white light. You tell yourself, I am peaceful. But underneath, your heart is racing. Your gut is tight. Your vagus nerve is completely offline, signaling danger to your brainstem. You are trying to paint a beautiful mural on a wall that is crumbling. This creates an internal war. Your mind says peace, but your biology screams war. This dissonance is exactly where the counterfeit spirit lives. It makes you judge yourself for not being high vibe enough, adding shame to your stress. Here is the biological truth that the law of attraction gurus forgot to tell you. You cannot think your way out of a survival state. The vagus nerve works on a feedback loop where 80% of the information flows from the body up to the brain. This means your brain is not the commander. It is the listener. Trying to calm a sympathetic nervous system with positive thoughts is like trying to put out a house fire by reading a poem about water. The fire does not care about your words. Your biology does not care about your affirmations. As long as the God nerve is blocked, The monad signal hits your nervous system and bounces off. You can read every holy book in existence, but if your biology is locked in fear, those words are just intellectual data. They do not become gnosis. Jesus did not say, "Think about the kingdom." He said, "The kingdom is within you." He was pointing to a visceral, somatic reality. To defeat the counterfeit spirit, we must stop working top-down and start working bottom-up. We do not ask the body to calm down. We force the switch. We use the God nerve to mechanically override the fear signal. When the body feels safe, the mind naturally becomes quiet. The counterfeit spirit dissolves, and the true monad can finally take the driver's seat. You don't need more positive thoughts. You need a nervous system capable of holding the charge. So how do we break the lock? Listen closely. Do not skip this part. Most people love the philosophy of the Matrix, but they refuse the work required to leave it. Watching this video without doing the protocol is like looking at a map while refusing to drive. You will remain exactly where you are. Jesus did not give the disciples a philosophy book. He gave them a somatic key. He understood that you cannot think your way out of the Matrix. You must feel your way out. Tonight, perform the override. You do not need a temple or incense. You are the technology. This consists of 3 keys that force the nervous system to switch from survival to reception. Key 1, the signal. Find stillness. Keep your spine straight, the central pillar of your temple. Close your eyes to shut out the illusion. Inhale through the nose for a count of 4. Pause. Exhale through the mouth for a count of 8. This ratio is a biochemical command code. When your exhale is longer than your inhale, you signal the brainstem, the predator is gone. It forces the vagus switch to flip on. Key 2, the sonic key. The vagus nerve runs directly behind your vocal cords. To activate it, we must use sound. On your next long exhale, keep your lips closed and generate a deep, steady hum. Feel the vibration rattle your teeth and resonate in your chest. This is not just noise. This is physics. You are manually massaging the God nerve with sound waves, echoing the primordial frequency to clear the blockage. Key 3, heart coherence. Drop your awareness out of your head and into your chest. Do not think about your heart, feel it. Visualize the nerve endings glowing as they wrap around it. Mystics call this the bridal chamber, where the mind meets the spirit. The protocol. Maintain this loop. 4 counts in, 8 counts out with a hum. Focus on the heart for 10 minutes. Warning. At first, your mind will resist. You will feel an itch. You will suddenly feel bored or remember a forgotten email. That is not you. That is the Archon programming fighting to stay in control. It knows it is being overwritten. Ignore it. Continue the signal. After about 5 minutes, a shift will occur. A heavy warmth will wash over your shoulders. Your thoughts will slow down. You will stop feeling like a person trying to meditate and start feeling like a vast, silent space that simply contains a body. That shift? That is the monad portal opening. Here is the hard truth. You cannot spend 10 minutes building a bridge and then spend the remaining 23 hours burning it down. The breathing protocol is the software update. But now, we must protect the hardware. The Archons know a secret that modern medicine ignores. The vagus nerve is rooted in the gut. Science calls this the second brain. It produces 90% of your serotonin, but physically, it is the direct telephone line to the monad. If the gut is inflamed, the line is dead. This is why the modern food supply is not just unhealthy. It is biochemical warfare. Look at the grocery store. It is not food. It is a graveyard of dead matter, highly processed, genetically modified substances designed to create chronic inflammation. Think of inflammation as static on a radio line. When you consume dead energy, You create so much biological noise that the subtle signals from the God nerve cannot get through. You are physically lowering your vibration to the exact frequency the control grid can harvest. But the poison isn't just on your plate, it is on your screen. Every time you engage in outrage on social media, you are voluntarily injecting cortisol into your bloodstream. Listen closely. Cortisol is acid to the God nerve. It corrodes the myelin sheath that protects the connection. You are literally dissolving the physical bridge to your soul. So how do we fight back? We do not diet. We starve the parasite. Number 1. The fasting reset. You do not need expensive supplements. You need emptiness. The vagus nerve heals only when the digestive factory shuts down. Intermittent fasting is not a trend. It is spiritual, tactical silence. It clears the static from the line. Number 2. High-frequency fuel. Stop eating things made in a lab. Eat things that trapped the sun. The rule is simple. If it didn't have a life force, it cannot sustain yours. Do not feed the avatar dead matter. Number 3. The sensory quarantine. Your eyes and ears are portals. Stop letting the Archons dump their garbage into your mind. Replace the noise with silence. Silence is not empty. It is the frequency of the monad. The ancients taught that the body is a temple. We have treated it like a landfill. That ends today. If you want the signal to remain permanent, you must stop attacking the receiver. Clean the vessel. Clear the line. When you open your eyes, the room will look the same. But you will not be the same. You have just manually raised your vibration beyond the reach of the control grid. How do you know it worked? The signs will be impossible to ignore. The first shift is that you become unharvestable. You become a ghost to the machine. The rude coworker, the financial panic, the chaos. It all still happens. But your reaction? Gone. You see the chaos, but you don't drink it. It's as if you are behind bulletproof glass, watching a movie. This is not apathy. This is invincibility. You have stopped feeding the Archons their louche. You are starving the parasite. Next, you will enter magnetic silence. You become a walking frequency jammer. You will notice strangers smiling at you, animals approaching you. Even the most stressed people will relax in your presence. Why? Because in a world of static noise, you have become the signal. And finally, you will experience the collapse of resistance. They call it synchronicity. I call it physics. When the vagus nerve is blocked, you are swimming upstream. When it is open, you are the river. Obstacles dissolve. The right information finds you. This is what happens when the Archons lose their grip on your timeline. Now, a warning. As you hold this frequency, you may feel a sudden wave of isolation. You may feel like an alien in your own life. Do not fear this. A lighthouse is always alone. It is alone because it is the only thing standing when the storm hits. Jesus said, "I have come to cast fire upon the earth." He was not talking about destruction. He was talking about this fire, the fire of consciousness that burns away the simulation. By activating this nerve, you are not just healing. You are becoming a glitch in the matrix. You are a system error that the Archons cannot fix. They designed this world for asleep, fearful sheep. They have no protocol for an awakened lion. When you walk into a room with your God nerve online, you are not just a person. You are a portal. And that is the most dangerous thing you can do to a system built on slavery. The knowledge is now yours. But be warned, knowledge without application is merely data. And data cannot save you. Tonight, the Archons will try to reclaim you. Tomorrow morning, the gravity of the sleep will feel heavy. The world will try to pull you back into the storm of reaction. It will try to convince you that this was just a video. Do not let them close the door you have just pushed open. You possess the anatomy of the divine. The God nerve is not a metaphor. It is the physical receiver for the frequency of home. It has been waiting for you to pick up the line. If you are ready to hold this frequency, if you are ready to stand as a lighthouse in a sea of static, then seal this pact right now. Prove to the simulation that you are awake. Anchor your intent into the physical world by writing the activation code below. I am activating the God nerve. Do not just think it, manifest it. By writing it, you are casting a spell of intent that the algorithm cannot ignore. Then, help the others find us. Signal the digital currents to push this truth to other lost pneumatics who are still searching for the key. A simple like on this video acts as a beacon in the dark. And to ensure you receive the next transmission of forgotten codes, join this sanctuary, subscribe, and turn on the bell. We are building a resistance here, and your presence makes the signal stronger. Before you go, take one last deep breath with me. Inhale for 4. Hold. Exhale for 8. Feel that silence? That is the kingdom. It is not coming. It is already here. The portal is open. You are the keeper of the gate. Walk in power.